Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I am Kyle Bossman, the Dark Prince of Nerd Media. Joining us this week, Bradley Ellis.
Hi.
Michael Huber.
Brandon
Brandon Jones.
Hound Doom.
And making this all happen, Ian Hink. Hound Doom, indeed. Brandon Jones, if you would, start corrections music, please. Shroud streams on Mixer now, so he's not going to be adding any views to Twitch viewership. Just so you know. The Easy Allies community has decreed that ducks are not cool. So that's the official
Who said-
stance. That's the Easy Allies
What the hell's
stance.
wrong with dogs, dude?
But they are mighty.
They are sexually aggressive.
Whoa.
I had to read the phrase duck rape a few too many times in the comments, and I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it again. So we
But
just.
what about DuckTales? What about Donald?
They're all rapists, dude.
No!
Donald's not cool. Donald's great, but that's like the whole point of
What
Donald
about
Duck. Is he's not
Daffy?
cool.
Best.
If
He's the
Donald
best.
Duck was cool, the
Jones, he
characterization
tries
would
his
work.
hardest, all right?
Daffy Duck.
That's
want,
not true.
Right now,
Goofy tries his hardest.
I want to float home right now. I want to
You'll
leave
float
my
too?
body and float home.
No,
float
you
too,
started
Kyle.
this.
Kingdom Hearts games are not launching on Game Pass. Jones, you ready for a shocker, dude?
Bring it.
You actually used the word good 3 times in the Red Dead Redemption 2 review.
Yeah, but not in the case of how it was used. Like not.
Number one.
He said he disallowed.
I found
good as
2.
in
I found 1
virtuous.
actually.
Whether you chat with every person or not, it feels good,
good.
to know the option is there.
Yeah.
Good and bad deeds, that's the one reason it doesn't count. Few games look this good, play this well, and have this much to offer.
Nice.
Yeah, we knew about that. He said he did not include good as in virtuous.
That's 3 though, as opposed to 1.
It was 2.
No, so it was 1 last week.
I distinctly recall him saying 2.
I distinctly recall something different.
Must have been 1.5.
No, really? I can bring up my old
I
document
tell
from
you
last
this.
week.
I don't feel bad. I mean, the good and bad obviously is stricken from the record. But I don't feel bad about the feels good. I don't feel bad about the looks good. I feel bad they're both in there. I do
Don't
regret
feel bad.
that.
No, hold on. End of corrections music, please. The whole point is don't feel bad. The whole point is it's okay to say good in a review.
Yeah.
Yes, but
And fun. I'm bringing fun back.
Bring it.
every time you do a review, when I reviewed Spider-Man, people said I didn't talk about combat enough. And I was like, you're right. I didn't. I kind of glossed over it. That's a big thing. I kind of just basically did one paragraph where I said, boy, oh boy, is this combat fun. And I didn't really specifically get into details. I didn't want to get too spoilery, show too much footage.
Sure.
But I was like, that is something that I could have done. I don't really do heavy action games that much. Stuff with combos and crazy skill trees. Usually not the games I cover and stuff I review.
Right.
I just straight up snatched that Spider-Man game. I was like, nope, no one reviews this but me.
Yeah.
And of course, Spider-Man 2. Nobody's touching that.
Yeah, Jones, but I don't know if, like, your perspective as a reviewer, you're not looking at Spider-Man in comparison to Devil May Cry 5. You're just not, And so, like, the focus, the emphasis that you put on combat in your review, I don't know. I don't think it wasn't enough. It wasn't sufficient. You know what I mean?
I'm not like getting 20 lashes over this, but
Okay,
it's just good
making
to
sure.
know moving
Making sure.
forward.
Okay.
Red Dead, I kind of glossed over the fact that you had to like polish your weapons and everything. It really upset people, and a lot of people were like, that sounds terrible. And I was like, okay, I didn't really explain why. Again, did it in a couple sentences and moved on. But you
should
just
not
don't know what's going to have an impact on people until after the review comes out. You kind of review things in a bubble, so.
Jones, what if I told you, no matter what you did, you're not going to please anyone?
This is true, but you can still.
Right.
That's the thing.
There's a line between like effective feedback that you believe in.
I'm
I
not
get
going
that.
through YouTube comments and literally ticking off absolutely every single thing people are saying, but
Yeah.
every now and then, so one of those bubbles to the surface, and you like, oh, okay. Good to know.
I would say, though, that anyone who spent more than one sentence talking about shining your weapons in Red Dead Redemption 2 wrote a bad review.
Sure.
It's just such a small part of such a big game. It's like, don't. Like, is it really that hard? I don't know.
You can get 2 sentences out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
that's
2.
two.
Maybe you
That's
get 2.
two.
Talk
It's
about
there
it and what
Yeah.
it's
If it's
like.
good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an update. Last week, I told Google that they should be ashamed of themselves. Embarrassed. I said they should be embarrassed
Yeah.
Right.
by the launch lineup for Stadia.
Yeah.
They felt embarrassed, and they announced some more launch games.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
did.
So we're going to go over the extra launch games and then decide if Google Stadia should still be embarrassed or not.
Okay.
Okay.
Attack on Titan Final Battle 2, Farming Simulator 2019, Final Fantasy 15, Football Manager 2020, Grid from 2019, Metro Exodus, NBA 2K20, Rage 2, Trials Rising, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. Knowing these games, in addition to all the Tomb Raider games that it also launched with, should Google still be embarrassed about the launch lineup?
Strictly speaking
Yes.
about
Yeah.
the launch game lineup,
Yeah.
just that.
Not just the fact that they added these weird games for no apparent reason or no reason that they confessed. Oh, sorry. More games. There you go.
I think it was
huh?
implied. It was our
Why-
podcast. I think
Why
it was
were you
implied they
hiding
felt embarrassed.
Those games, huh? What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in the middle because more games, cool, and like some of those games are relevant to this year,
NBA
which I think
2K.
is important. And
yeah.
Metro Exodus came out this year, and there was-
Trials is a fun addition. Like these are great.
Yeah.
These are fun.
it's not like this Tomb Raider game that came out years ago. These are a couple games that came out this year that are good. So
Yeah.
Kyle,
still embarrassed, but a little less so.
I'll say because there's no reason for me to have to play this. There is no game that only I could play on this platform or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing to give me a reason to play on Stadia. Mm-hmm. So I would say, yeah.
So I just looked up how many launch games the PS4 had, and it had 24. But I assume most of those were like new. This is like one new game and 20 whatever 2-year-old games.
Yeah.
So like Google Stadia should have like 160 launch titles. You
It
know?
honestly should. It
Like, it
should
should
have
have so many games.
Look,
Yeah.
to the first Tomb Raider, you made the joke about those Tomb Raider games. I feel bad for Lara, but like the first Tomb Raider game was from 2 gens ago. That should be free.
one gen ago.
Don't
One
make
gen.
me
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah.
Don't make me buy
Yeah.
that game.
And
well, I mean, I see you say 1 gen ago, but like Stadia's pushing that like this is better than any console you own. This is we are starting the next gen right now.
Yeah.
With
Oh, I
Tomb
get what you're
Raider
saying.
Definitive Edition.
There's,
you know?
This is the beginning of next gen. Got
this
you.
game
Yeah.
you played in 2016.
And the only reason I was ever interested in Stadia was to be able to run these games at like max settings and really push the power to the limits.
Yeah.
And Blood Earth was telling me that Red Dead 2 is locked at 1080 right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell are you doing even releasing this thing for?
We said up to 4K.
Yeah.
We said up to.
Like, what
It's
are you what are you even doing releasing it? Just trying to go like the No Man's Sky Sea of Thieves route of like, let's just get it out and then we'll, and wave manage the rocky waters and try to salvage it and fix it as we
you
go.
know it's the Red Dead killer. I'm gonna put a little time into Stadia this weekend. Actually, here
we go.
I'm gonna take that login from Blood and check it out. He said Darkness and Stadia do not go well together, and Darkness in Red Dead is like. That's the big thing when you just go strolling into Valentine and it's just like
It's dark.
heavy darkness and those all the lamps and the candles.
That's just streaming. As you're streaming a movie or on Netflix or something.
Crushed
and it just
blacks.
happens. Yeah.
Bloodworth dude hates
Yeah.
the crushed
Man,
blacks.
that still happens for the compression. I guess they have to compress it somehow, but I hadn't thought about that they would have to compress the footage they're sending you. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh man, Stadia, just
Doomed.
stop.
Doomed.
It's time to play Santa's video game advisory board.
Oh,
jolly.
Yep.
okay.
So here's the deal. Huber, Brad,
Yeah.
Santa's trusting us because he doesn't trust himself.
Right.
He's kind of bad when it comes to gifting video games.
Of course.
So he gets some requests. He's not sure if that's really a good thing or not. And he's asking us, like, hey, should I go ahead? Should I make this thing for this child? What's funny is, this segment's at a crossroads to me because I'm looking at some, like, these are interesting video game ideas. I want to share them with the panel.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Should this game be made? Dear Santa, I want a game where I am Santa. I have to produce or get the gifts and have to deliver them on time, but
Oh, Santa Simulator.
I want to
how's that not out
explore
yet?
and supply not only our planet, but a whole universe where each alien planet naturally has different wishes and social structures. The delivery gameplay should always be in slow motion, called Santa Bullet Time. I imagine the game could be based on the technology developed for Beyond Good and Evil 2. Thanks, Solid Snake. With a Q, not Solid Snake with a Q. That's a username.
Okay. I love this idea.
Yeah.
I think they're thinking too big, baby. We're going to get corporate
Yeah.
right here.
Okay.
We're going to shrink it down, baby. We're going to do Earth as game 1. Strictly game 1.
This is somebody's Christmas wish, and you're going to say sorry, but you get game 1 instead of your Christmas
Yes.
wish?
Business. Business.
Yeah.
Santa needs to think of long-term profits.
Different cultural norms, like that, you know. That's Earth, you know, like, especially with the holidays. Like, it's fascinating to look at other cultures and what they celebrate at the end of the year.
I think about this a lot.
Their winter celebrations, like.
I used to watch this cartoon where children from all over the world would visit the North Pole, and you know they'd be just like dancing around and like looking around his shop. And like the reality is like you're not celebrating Christmas, you're not getting presents from Santa. Mm-hmm. So sorry, kids. He's not coming to your house. Like you have to. I'm sorry. You have to be a Christian or at least celebrate Christmas for Santa to come and give you anything. Mm-hmm. So I imagine there's that issue, Jones. You know, like we there's only so many houses we actually can go to on Earth.
I can already see the like super intense emotional halfway point is when someone comes to Santa and is like, "Look, we don't celebrate Christmas, but my child believes in you." So there's like that moral.
We ask Santa to break his one rule.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, getting heavy.
Santa only does it to the child, though. Does not reward the parents.
You're right. Yeah. Of course. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his thing.
Stern looks from Santa.
Yes. You should convert, he says.
I got a fresh take.
Yeah.
No, I'm not voting on this. I don't trust Santa to make this game.
Why?
It's about himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody else to do that. It's like nobody makes a documentary about themselves, or a good one at least.
Well, here's the thing.
You need a third party to come in. You need an outside perspective.
I think there's more Santa perspective than that we realize with this old man.
I just want the straight simulator. You know, I want the thing where it's like you got that clock counting down to Christmas, and you go through like 100 years of Santa Claus. Every time Christmas comes up, you think, okay, I did okay that Christmas, but I want to do better next time. And you got to deal. It's like Civilization. You got to deal with the technology getting better, and you know now there's like radar towers and like 747s flying. Whoa, you know, like you got to the actual piloting Santa and moving him around. It doesn't interest me that much. It's the sim part. You know, Sim Santa, I think sounds dope.
I think Santa can bring a dark side that we don't know about him to this game that only he would know. And now Santa,
what are you hinting at? Because I'm very intrigued.
This is a biography.
Well, Santa.
I want Santa to tell his life story.
There's a long time.
Doesn't need to be a video game.
Christmas is only once a year. Santa's got to do something else.
Yeah.
And think of the holiday stress. Like, you think people get holiday stress now? Mm-hmm. Think of Santa when he has so much weight on his shoulders.
Yeah.
The guy's drinking every day.
Oh no.
24/7.
No.
I don't.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Thermos.
His elves get a little more responsibility because Santa can't handle it anymore.
They're protecting his
Mrs.
image.
Claus is gone.
Oh.
She's gone, dude. Like, this is a story that's worth telling. A man who is so beloved by the world somehow downward spiral into a depression of booze and eggnog and cookies.
Here's the thing, Brad. I love this game. This person wrote to Santa, "Here's my dream game. Here's what I want."
Yeah.
And then you're handing that child this game instead.
Santa set out with that intention. He set out with that intention.
Unhinged.
But things change in development.
Does the Santa Claus? Well, the question is, will Tim Allen make a cameo appearance in this game?
No.
I mean, Santa can presumably make any game he wants.
If I'm Santa, I'm having Tim Allen be the character model. Because I gotta have some mystery behind my identity.
Yeah. Why just start with the character model, dude? Have him do the mocap. Have him play it out.
Tim Allen is heavily involved.
Yeah, why are you so opposed to this, Jones?
Opposed to, for so many reasons.
Tim
Am I
Allen's a
opposed
great
to Tim
Santa.
Allen, or am I opposed to...
Tim Allen's a great Santa.
Tim Allen's a good Santa, okay?
Who's the best Santa?
Richard Attenborough, man. Miller Girl on 34th Street.
About it, dude. There could be some sick, like,
Flea circus.
Home Alone
man.
Easter eggs in it or something, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he could have a
Didn't miss a
neighbor
beat
that
there.
you
Yeah,
never
dude.
see below his nose or something like that. And one time he drops the
That's
toy
a,
and he goes,
so wait, hold on. That's a Home Improvement reference.
yeah.
Oh my good.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay, you know what, Santa?
Ian hasn't even weighed in on
Make
this.
it!
Santa, I don't think it's coming together, man.
Santa.
Santa, don't make the game.
Santa,
Clearly
you
a
can
hot
do
button
it.
issue.
You can do it, Santa. You gotta get out of that darkward spiral, man.
You know, the last 5 minutes have made me realize why we don't have a Santa Claus video game. That's
too much.
Because there's too many directions to take it.
Oh, yeah.
We
Pandora's
way
box.
too many.
No, we played one on, what was that show where we just played a bunch of dumb games for like a certain amount of time?
Fancy 15.
Fancy 15.
game.
We did
Yes.
the Santa
Yep.
game.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was insufficient.
It was insufficient.
But my Santa game would be good. I believe in Santa.
Is that the title?
I believe in Santa?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good
dude.
title, dude. Yeah.
I believe in Santa.
It's the prequel to Reindeer Academy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's its own game. That's a whole other thing. That's an RPG.
Do y'all remember my favorite way to start a podcast?
Game announcements.
Yes. So we have the biggest game announcement of the last decade.
Okay.
Everyone is screaming about this on Twitter. It's the biggest thing. Everyone has been waiting for this announcement to happen, and it's finally happened. A Half-Life sequel.
In a way, yeah.
Aren't we all so happy?
Prequel.
Wait, prequel?
Yeah, isn't it a prequel?
I wanted Half-Life 3. What
pre-sequel.
was announced?
Oh, it's a
then?
pre-sequel?
It's in between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm still very excited. A Half-Life prequel. I'm just going to download it on Steam. It's going to be Source 2, right? And so I'm just going to like check that. I'm going to download that. I'm going to play that on my mouse and keyboard. I can't wait
Pointing
to.
and clicking.
Yeah. I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
And then, what's the but?
You're going to tell us.
Yeah.
There's no but. Gabe Newell's behind it.
But
the
it plays
whole
better
team.
with controller.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
can deal with a controller. I can play with a controller.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I've been waiting. I've been waiting years and years.
2 controllers. You play with 2 controllers.
Oh, even better. That's
Yeah,
cool. That's
yeah.
cool. Because I've been missing Half-Life.
Right.
There's so many unanswered questions. Even a
Right.
prequel's got to answer some of my questions that I have.
Right. And you know how Gordon wears like a suit? Well,
Yeah.
you're Alyx in this. Like
Oh, I'm Alyx?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. I love Gordon. He's one of
Right.
to me, he's one of my favorite video game characters of all time. He's
Yeah.
quintessential video game character.
Right.
Icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Alex is cool too. Okay, I'll play as Alex. That's fine. That's
Right.
fine.
You get to be Alyx.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like her. She's got,
you're in the world, bro. You're jacked into the Matrix.
oh, cool. So it's just
Yeah.
immersive. That's cool. I'm cool with being immersed. I
gonna be a
love
very
being
immersive
immersed.
game.
I always thought the Half-Life franchise is probably one of the more immersive franchises in PC
for
gaming.
sure.
So yeah, that's cool.
Half-Life 2 was, in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
represented how shooters were evolving.
Yeah.
And a lot of shooters have evolved into virtual reality. And so now
Where are you going with this?
Half-Life's stepping back in to show the kiddies how it's done.
Where's this
And,
going? Where are you going with this?
It's VR, baby. You're gonna put that headset on. But the crazy thing is it's on Quest. I was not expecting that. Because on the Quest you're gonna sacrifice the visual fidelity of the
Quality
game. But
for no
oh
cables,
boy, you play that in a big room and you're just.
I've been waiting 12 years for a Half-Life sequel.
I know for a fact you've never waited for Half-Life a moment in your life.
I was that's cliffhanger. I've been waiting for episode 3 for 12 years, and you're gonna tell me I gotta buy a VR headset?
I'm gonna tell you, when I brought Half-Life 2 to Hall of Grades, I'm positive you didn't vote on it. Positive. Okay?
Okay.
I don't think anybody in this room voted.
Like
I voted
the
on it.
character
Oh,
you're
yeah.
playing
I think I
as
did.
is
Yeah.
just Huber.
Wait, are you actually upset? Are you bummed about this
I'm not
being
upset
a
at
VR
all.
game?
What do you
No,
mean?
Oh, okay.
waiting for Half-Life Episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
felt betrayed. I've watched it over years.
Yeah, but like the last.
You've just let it go. You've
yeah,
let go of your anger.
I've let it go the last 5 or 6 years because there's been an embarrassment of riches. Because we just have way too many good
Shenmue
things.
3,
to
how
get,
can you be
yeah,
bad?
we have
Yeah.
too many good things to get hung up
sure.
on
Oh,
one
yeah.
game. This is awesome. This is a new full-length Half-Life game.
Yep, so it's called Half-Life Alyx.
It's called Half-Life Alyx. It is a full-length game, they said.
Full price as well.
Full price, full length, full game.
March 2020.
It's the remaster situation for me, where this leads me to believe that Half-Life 3 is coming, which is it's obviously coming one day. Yeah.
No.
I've said it a million times. Check the tape, dude. It's coming. Are you kidding me? Oh, we're just gonna make a random Half-Life spin-off and then just never make Half-Life 3 ever. But we're just gonna make this one. And then just stop again.
I mean,
What are you
wait,
talking
did
about?
Did you watch the interview that was also
And they
came out
probably
today?
were like, "Oh, we're not going to do Half-Life 3."
They talked openly about how scared they are to make Half-Life 3. Like this is
Yeah.
good for them. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
good thing we don't have to make Half-Life 3.
Well,
we're
one
free
day
here.
it will come,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Don't
Yeah.
do this to me.
And this is that step. This is opening the door more to future Half-Life installments. So this is very exciting to me. And I think it's a really cool. It is like I as a player of Half-Life, I feel the same as the developers in the sense of like, nice, no pressure. This isn't Half-Life 3. This
Yeah.
isn't continuing the story. I get to play a new Half-Life game without all the stakes and the baggage and the expectations. Like, I'm just going to play this. It is technically a spin-off, but it is canon, and it is telling probably a meaningful part, probably the origin of Alyx and stuff. But it still feels like way less high stakes. So this is cool.
But I kind of need those stakes though, just for a story. Like I'm going to be way into going back to this world. I'm going to be way into experiencing this in VR for lots of reasons in the gameplay that they showed. This looks incredibly cutting edge in terms of item interaction and, the way enemies move, the way you move in VR. A lot of it looks like way too good to be true, but just like I'm not going to be nervous about her. I'm not going to be nervous about 90% of the characters in this game. The teaser at the end, the G-Man shows up and it's like, all right.
The worst. Actually, that was
But he's got so much more to say after this that has so much more relevance on the world, the decisions that he makes and stuff.
Who's to say, Jones, that knowing them, like, the end of this game won't take place after Half-Life 2, Episode 2.
She'll get some visions of something.
Yeah, or like 80% of the game is a prequel, and then like all of a sudden, whoa, what? We're like moving the story forward. Actually, whoa,
I'm dog now.
I worried that you're making our viewers dangerously hopeful, Huber.
That's what he does.
Yeah, but at the same time, like maybe. I don't want to be overly optimistic about it, obviously, but I see no reason to be overly pessimistic or skeptical about this. I think this is nothing but good. Yeah, it's not Half-Life 3, but it is super encouraging for the future of this franchise and makes the possibility of Half-Life 3 that much more possible.
So this game would not exist without VR.
Right. Because they're experimenting.
I really want to talk
IPs.
about that too.
Okay.
Because VR, I thought VR would be so much bigger now. Resident Evil 7 and all that, I thought PSVR was going to take it to the next level. I thought VR would be huge right now, and it's not.
Yeah.
And if anyone, because I thought Half-Life 3, when it did come out, I thought Half-Life 3 was going to be fully VR.
Right.
I was like, Half-Life 3 will come out, it'll be a VR game, it'll push the genre forward. Now I'm putting my hopes on Half-Life Alyx to push VR to the next level, to the next step. If anyone can do it, it's Valve.
Brandon Jones is shaking his head.
I don't think. Yeah,
he doesn't believe it's going to happen.
I
Why
don't
not?
think
But
that-
they
Why?
have there's a chance.
There's a chance. It's just super expensive, and this is coming out in the at the Scarlet year, the PS5 year.
Yep.
I don't.
So you don't think it'll
It'll move the needle for sure.
Okay,
it'll
that's all I'm saying. That's
it'll
all I'm
make
saying.
progress
That's
for
all I'm
sure.
saying, Jones.
Just like our Resident Evil 7
Yeah,
did, but
yes.
we're still baby steps. We're still, it's still going to be a premium, entertainment experience.
Well,
but there will be. All it takes is just like one huge streamer or one other person that has not adopted it, big YouTuber or something that's like, holy cow. And I think I'm sorry, Ian, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say that, to me, the thing that makes me hopeful that this game is actually good and that they care about it is that they did put it out on everything.
Yeah.
That it's not locked to Vive or whatever. Because, like, the cynic wants to say, oh, it's just to push units. But it's like, oh, no, you can play this on their competitors' hardware. That means they believe in this game, right? Like,
Great take,
theoretically?
Ian. I like that.
yeah.
Because the rising tides raise all boats. It's like that.
Right.
It's exciting and smart for them to be like, hey, let's not try to push you in one direction. Let's try to just encourage talk about the medium. And I think one of the things that's so exciting to me, and I officially want to retract something that I said in the presence of you, Kyle, in Frame Trap yesterday, where I called this game a slap.
You called it straight up called it a slap.
Whoa! Because it's a prequel, and again, it's just what you were talking about with Stakes, where it was just like. It's a weird thing to wait this long, and it kind of reminds me of that Diablo mobile game where it's like the product itself is not bad. It's just kind of the way you're presenting it is bizarre. Like it's tough for me to know. As much as I love Alyx, it's tough to know. It's kind of like when another Aliens movie comes out. It's like, here comes Ripley. It's like, can we please introduce someone else or do something? Like I wonder if this is even you just saying playing as dog. It's like, ooh, like there's other things that you could do in this world that I think would be really interesting. And it's gonna be weird playing Alyx, but it's a different voice actor. It's gonna be strange her talking to Eli, and it's a different voice actor, and making this graphical leap in a game that takes place before Half-Life 2. But at the same time, it's so cool seeing a trailer for a VR game, and she moves a bucket to the side on a shelf in some like ratty looking closet, and I'm like, oh my god, look at that, and then like grabs a little tiny bullet and clicks it and shoots a guy through a wall, and I'm like,
That is cool.
oh my goodness, like grabbing an object off a shelf and loading it into a weapon and shooting an enemy in a first person game is not, that sentence by itself is not fantastic, but you just see how it's done and how hard. I mean, this still could be faked. Like there's still ways you could do it in a gameplay trailer, but it's so much harder in VR. There's so many moving pieces compared to that Killzone 2 trailer, compared to other shooter stuff I've seen that I'm like, I don't know. The first Metro Exodus trailer where you're like, I don't know, this seems a little weird. That someone had to perform that. Someone had to like, they were recording that and just like, okay, we got it. Like, let me try it one more time. Bring those enemies in. I think I can do that a little cleaner just to actually demonstrate like, this is a game you're gonna wanna get good at. And we were talking about that with recently where I was like, I got into that, there's some shooters like GoldenEye where I've played and I really get in the mindset of Bond, or I really get in the mindset of characters in Far Cry, where I really think like, yeah, I'm on my own and I'm stuck here and I really gotta, actively as I take every step, actually think that yes, I am in this person's head and just how will I react when characters are talking to me. That's how I felt when I played Half-Life. Like I remember one of the most poignant moments in Half-Life 2. I was listening to one character talk, and I just happened to look over another character, and that character turned and looked at me and made a look like this person going on, and I was like, oh, here we go. Now I'm actually feeling immersed, and characters are interacting with each other, like, cool.
One of the coolest things they talk about in the interview that Keeley hosted about like the development of this game is when they're talking about creaking open a door, peeking through it, tossing a grenade in there, slamming the door shut. In a way, that to me is like an exciting idea. And like, hey, you actually can't do this with a mouse and keyboard. You would need too many buttons to have this kind of like these options. And it reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 2. It reminds me of, oh, I can do these things. You know what I mean? I can stick a guy up, I can go first person, I can aim at his head, he'll shake. You know what I mean? It's almost like that.
Those innovations, yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's like that kind of particular kind of excitement. Brad, did you see any moment in this trailer where you said, I can't wait to play that?
I'm just confused. Is there like a different peripheral you use to play this with, or is it just normal?
So the Valve Index, I think, has controllers that are more advanced. We're getting to the point where Jones has kind of suggested it's more like the...
Yeah, so like, I feel like you need to play with that. Like, I feel like it won't be the same without that. You won't get that, it won't fully sell you. Like, because the controller is so much more advanced, I feel like that's part of like the hook of it.
Sure.
And it's designed specifically for that.
Right.
I feel like it'd be way better with that.
Yeah, I mean, it is like a gameplay mechanic as you're wearing these two gloves.
Yeah, it's
and
awesome.
it's kind of suggested like it's going to be like a one-to-one with you holding these glove-like controllers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, it looks fun to me. I'm going to try it out.
You're going to try this out?
I like Half-Life. I'm not a huge Half-Life fan, but I like Half-Life.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's more curiosity to me because it's just been like gone.
Yeah.
Just gone, period, gone forever. And it's like, oh, here's something. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
And now it's back.
It's weird. To me, as someone who just frankly doesn't care about Half-Life, watching that trailer, I don't see a moment where like, wow, cool. I don't see a single wow, cool
because it's VR and you're not watching it in VR. Beware the discourse of this game right now, dude. Beware all the noise.
No, because...
Beware all the noise.
Okay.
It's VR. You have to be in the VR. You have to be in the game.
Have you ever shot a gun in VR?
To fully know.
Have you ever aimed at a dude in VR and shot a gun?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's just, it's a different thing.
It's a different
It's
feel.
a completely
like,
different
all
thing.
the noise
You're like,
about this.
I actually aimed.
Yeah.
Like, I actually, like, had to...
Like, you loved PlayStation VR a couple years ago. You're just like, dude, you can't even, like, you gotta do it to realize.
Yeah.
It's like Astrobot. You can't really tell anyone how good it is. They have to put it on. I feel like the same with this.
I hear you.
And the same
Astrobot
with-
doesn't show well in trailers.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
But
So
those
you gotta
gloves
know
those gloves do make me nervous, though, because it's like doing just that. Literally, physically, there's nothing in my hand. I feel nothing, and I'm just kind of like moving my finger for
I'm
the
hoping
trigger.
there's
It's like,
some sort of, like,
I kind of
feedback
want something.
in it.
I have
in
some
my hand.
Like a
Yeah.
prop. Give me some props.
I don't know if we need props. This is going to get lost.
Like a rubber ball or something? I don't know.
So if you
I
hold a
don't
rubber
like-
ball in
like a
real life,
grenade.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
I've said
no,
this
that's
before.
like-
It's why they didn't like Doom in VR, because the guns are so huge, and it's just they weigh nothing, and so it's like here's this massive gun that I'm like, you know.
Oh, that's
So
what
it's a
happens
little-
in VR, though.
Yeah, so you just have to. I just think you have to account for that.
Sure.
And it's something where, I think they sold this well to VR fans. I think if people weren't interested in VR, aren't interested in Half-Life, I don't think Valve was like, let's try to get them. You know, they're like, we're gonna get them with word of mouth. We're gonna get them because in 2020, 2021, you're still gonna look at the VR landscape, and it's like you should probably go back still and play Half-Life, Alyx, because boy oh boy did they put their heart and soul into that.
So I think this announcement was the right size. I kind of facetiously opened up with, hey, everybody's screaming about this, but everybody's not. But it isn't Half-Life 3.
Right.
And so I'm glad they didn't treat it that way. I'm glad there wasn't months leading up to this announcement. I'm glad that they didn't tease it, just like, wait till you see what's in. You know what I mean? Will the G-Man even be there? You know what I mean? They weren't nasty about it. They're just They were really like upfront about what this game
Like
is.
Ian saying, the confidence, like announcing this now 4 months before it's out and releasing in the war zone that is March.
Yeah.
Like, they believe in it.
Sure.
Holy moly.
They believed in Artifact.
Oh no.
Oh, Brad.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, Valve.
Hot takes.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, Valve.
Shots.
It's dead, dude. It's dead.
Why do that?
On a positive note, they're doing games that interest me more again, though.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
not like an offense to the quality of these games, but Dota 2 does not interest me at all.
Sure.
Or neither did Artifact.
Right.
But now they're doing like a single player game.
Yeah. It
like,
sucks
ooh.
that it takes VR for them to do a single player game, for them to find the initiative to do it, but I think that's what it took. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, head crabs in VR.
You rip them off your face. Don't worry about it.
No, dude.
You can dodge them.
No.
If you get hit, it's your fault.
I
Just
like
As
that.
scared as I have been for stuff jumping at my face, as many times as I've seen aliens, like, oh my god.
But before you couldn't move
some
your
people
neck.
on Twitter were like, for that reason, hell no, I'm not playing this game.
Wow.
I can't do that. I cannot do that. 'Cause a lot of people brought up Farpoint, which is not a fantastic game, the PSVR exclusive, but yeah, there's spiders that jump at your face, and that's not good for
No
anybody.
thanks.
Yep. Okay.
Yo, when's Counter-Strike coming to VR?
I don't know.
They said you can mod levels. They're adding mod tools.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Neat.
Yeah.
VR
And I mean, that's how
lab.
Counter-Strike started, right? So it's
Do we have a date? Did they just say March?
March 2020.
God, they were talking about
Animal Crossing.
Portal, like how they didn't want to do Portal with it.
Yeah.
But like, I want that, dude.
Yeah.
They were talking about like people like throwing up.
Yeah,
or
just
something
go
like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I want that in VR. That'd be so sick.
It was, Brad, it's kind of funny to me. They're like, well, we have these VR tools and we tried our different franchises. It's
Yeah.
like, you have 2 franchises.
They got Dota. Dota's a franchise.
Somebody will do it with
You know
Source.
what? And
Somebody will
Dota's a
make it.
huge franchise.
Dota is huge.
You got 3 franchises.
Counter-Strike.
You think you're Nintendo?
They got Counter-Strike.
Dota'd be fun in VR.
Counts to me.
Left 4 Dead counts.
Left
Left 4
4
Dead counts.
And you know what? I think, right, Counter-Strike is Half-Life, but no, that's a different brand.
I mean, it started with Half-Life.
I would count it, though. I would count it as 5 different franchises.
Team Fortress, baby.
Whoa, that's a big one, too. So
Yeah.
you have 6 franchises.
It's just been a while.
What if you are HBO? Heck yeah, you're right. They perhaps do have more franchises than I give them credit for.
So Half-Life 3 before or after 2024?
I don't think so. Like, so here we're like, to me, they had to make a VR game. Valve Index is coming. We have to make a VR game. To me, this was the most obvious choice. It was this or Portal. They could do a Dota VR game. They could do a Team Fortress VR game, but they're not going
Yeah.
to. It was going to be one of those 2.
I feel like we'll get Portal 3 before Half-Life 3.
We're going to get Portal VR
That's just the
before.
vibe I get.
The reason this game exists, the reason Half-Life is back is VR.
Yeah, of course.
And so I don't see them making a huge single-player Half-Life game right now. Like, they're going to keep going with this initiative.
Yeah.
I just always thought Half-Life 3 would be VR. I always thought it.
Well, you were close.
Yeah.
Half-Life Alyx is. And then, like, Half-Life Alyx 2
Like, what
will
if it's
be VR.
amazing?
Yeah. It could be. Yeah. Could
I
be
Do you
also-
think if it's amazing and it sells well and does well that they would move forward with Half-Life 3?
No.
No.
I think Half-Life Alyx 2.
I agree.
I really
think
do.
if they did do it, it would be both VR and not VR. Like you'd have a choice.
Nice. Like
Like
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Because I
7.
wouldn't want
Nice.
to alienate that core
True.
that made it
Yeah.
big, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they sound genuinely excited about this.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they make a version of this later that's not VR.
I would be.
You'd be surprised?
I would be
I would be
fairly
surprised too. It seems so dependent on VR.
Yeah. Jones,
So it's
just
like
the
super
idea.
hot. Like when you play super hot and you feel how awesome that is, and it's
Yeah.
just like, how could you not play this in VR? But there it is. You know, Invisible Hours, one of my probably top 5 favorite VR games of all time. You can play without it if you
Okay.
don't want.
You can find a way, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It'll take some work, but you can find some way. Yeah.
okay.
The dev team seems uninterested, I would say, in making
Sure.
this non-VR.
And I think in the position that they're in, I don't know if they would have to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Do we know? Sorry, last question. Do
yeah.
we know how many people are working on it? So
I
like
don't.
the entire studio?
It is not the
No,
entire
No,
studio.
just a-
The entire studio is working on Dota too. This is just the extras. This is,
Yeah.
we have another game announcement this week.
Okay. Yay.
Path of Exile 2, Jones.
Oh, Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Big deal.
Apparently. So I have to be honest. When I got to do research for this kind of thing. You make like a game announcement and it's like Smash Bros. I like it walks into the studio. I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
Path of Exile 2. I got to learn what Path of Exile is.
Yeah, it's like when there's a League of Legends thing.
Yes.
You're like, what?
Yes. So Grinding Gear Games is the studio. Their icon is grinding gears, like motor gears. But I mean, like you're grinding for gear, right? Like it's a play on words
Loot
there.
drops.
Yeah. Because Path of Exile is a Diablo-like, free to play, but apparently not bad.
Yes.
So I have to be honest, when I see free to play Diablo-like, up to this point, I'm checked out.
Really good game.
Yep. And this is a really good game, Huber.
Really good game.
And so what's interesting about Path of Exile 2, it's kind of the Overwatch 2 route. It is what I would call a supportive sequel, a nice sequel, in that everybody who's playing Path of Exile 1 can continue as they are, and they're going to get to the same end game as people who play Path of Exile 2 stuff.
Because I never hit the end game of Path of Exile 1,
Yeah.
so I don't really know.
But so is it going to be free to play also then?
Yeah.
So then why would you still play the first game then?
Just because they want to give you options. Isn't that wild?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you not carry characters over or something?
And you can carry your loot over. So all the stuff that you've unlocked in Path of Exile 1 will carry over into Path of Exile 2.
Did you see the character select thing?
No.
There's like all the classes there on the gallows, and the one you pick, everyone else gets hanged right there.
Oh, because that's the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
The beginning of the game is your
Yeah.
character runs away from the gallows. That's so
Yeah.
funny. You watch the characters you didn't pick have to just get strangled to
So
death.
intense.
Wow, that is funny. It looks visually good.
Yeah, it looks really.
To me, this game looks better than what was shown of Diablo 4. Maybe I'm crazy.
It's hard to be side by side.
It
To
looked
me,
like there was more of it.
it seemed
Sure.
like with Path of Exile it might be further along.
Yes.
Diablo feels like 2 years away to me.
We
still.
at least have a time frame, and that is beta is end of 2020 is what they're doing. Thinking
Oh,
for
okay.
Path of Exile 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been talking to Ben lately, but he just
Got into
Path of Exile 1 like a
Yeah.
month ago, and
Yeah.
is playing.
He's
been playing
obsessed,
nothing
yeah.
but Path of Exile 1. So this is pretty funny timing for that.
Yeah, it's funny to talk to hear him talk so highly about a free to play game.
So I like it free to play games.
Yeah. There are many, many worse ones.
Yeah.
The vast majority of free to play games are just filthy, nasty trash.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of good ones. Though.
So it's one of the rare ones, right? Like Warframe. It's just one of those ones that there's nothing dishonest about this one. The game design does come first with this one. And that's kind of what I pick up from Path of Exile. Like, obviously, I can't vouch for it, but everything they've talked about with this sequel and the improvements they're making while supporting the old game seems really nice.
Yeah, just I love the idea of options. I love the idea of customization. Like you can really go any way you want with this. There's so many options.
So I looked at the PC Gamer write-up. I got to share a quote from
it's
them.
like billions of character builds, dude. Like billions.
If anything, Path of Exile 2 is going to become even more of a theory crafter's dream come true.
Min-max.
And I've never. What is a theory crafter?
Theory craft, like optimizing your builds
Yes.
in the most wild ways.
In my like move sets and
Yeah.
everything, I'm a theory crafter.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a completely different kind of game for like a very specific type of person, but it succeeds in that way. I think it's interesting.
I love that. My brain never works like that. Anytime people are building decks and stuff in Hearthstone, I'm like, we're like Magic the Gathering. Like I would always have to have my friend help me out, like hodgepodge something together, and it's like, how do these people make these like beautifully balanced builds and decks? It's just such a cool, unique skill.
Experimentation.
Yeah.
And time.
Yeah. And what's funny is it sounds like the Path of Exile appeal is beautiful unbalance. You want to just you want to
Break
wreck
it.
everything. Yes.
Sure, yeah.
And the game's like, go nuts. Do what
Yeah,
you want. We're
they let you
gonna
do
let
what
you
you want.
slot those gems wherever you want, buddy. Let's see what you got. Yeah, it's fun.
That's cool.
Really good timing for it though, because I feel like Diablo 4 and that existing at nearly the same time will make them better for each other.
Sure,
There's
yeah.
a lot of competition.
Absolutely
with those
agree with
now.
that.
And it's like a way off, which is usually dangerous. Like, oh no, people are gonna forget about this, man. People are gonna keep asking, like, yeah, wait, didn't that happen? Didn't I like launch Q1 and like, nah, it hasn't happened yet. You can play Path of Exile 1. And
Yeah.
like you were saying, if it carries over, it's like
And they're like,
kinda-
we're gonna keep supporting
kinda
it,
smart
yeah.
for them to like have more updates and announce things that they're doing, so you're getting excited about it. But if anytime you get that itch and you're just like, oh, that's right, that's not happening till later.
Yeah.
Nothing's stopping you.
Do
Jump
that-
in.
Do that breakpoint thing. Maybe add some like prologue quests before the release.
Oh, for sure. Like
leading into 2.
2 takes place 20 years later, and like a bunch of the areas from the first game are going to be repeated in the second one in
Cool.
different ways and stuff like that. So yeah, they got plans.
Sounds cool.
Oh, it sounds like it's podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of November. Elfanis. Shadow Soul, an action-adventure webcomic inspired by Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. It follows 3 childhood friends who are trying to fight a world-dominating empire, the Light's Order. Shadow Soul not only explores classic anime themes of friendship, bonds, and getting stronger, it tackles more controversial topics like religion, sexuality, oppression, and freedom. There are 52 chapters to read currently, with updates happening regularly. You can read by searching Shadow Soul on webtoons.com or the app. If you like anime books as much as Jones does, then this is the comic for you. Ground Awesome. Do you enjoy high-quality sound and video production? Well, they don't have that. Come check out mediocre gameplay at twitch.tv/groundawesome. That is twitch.tv/groundawesome. Check out their playthrough of Pokemon Shield and join in the chat. Our gifted sponsor is SOS Children's Villages. Children are at the heart of everything SOS Children's Villages does, regardless of where they are in the world. SOS Children's Villages is the largest non-governmental organization dedicated to the long-term care of orphaned and abandoned children across the globe. For more information and to donate, the link is in the description. Car Keys Express. If you need a replacement car key or a remote, check out carkeysexpress.com/store. Use the coupon code EASYA at checkout for free shipping and 10% off of your order. They are proud sponsors of Easy Allies. And our mega sponsor, ViewSonic. Ever wonder what a gaming monitor from Tron might look like? How about the most Star Trek monitor ever? The new XG27 series from ViewSonic Elite has finally dropped and looks fantastic. Featuring innovative nano IPS technology, a 1 millisecond response time, and 165 Hz refresh rate, your monitor of the future has finally arrived. Visit viewsonic.com/elite to learn more, and for giveaways and updates, follow @ViewSonic Gaming on Instagram and Twitter. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. This one, this is kind of a this just in.
Oh.
This was a message Brad sent me shortly before recording the podcast, saying like, hey, we should cover this on the podcast. Obviously, there's not much to go off, but we're gonna do it. Resident Evil 3 Remake rumored. Spawnwave is the YouTube channel you'd want to check out to get the scoop on this. But generally, it's one of those things where one reputable person on YouTube says this is coming 2020. It's going to happen in 2020.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 doesn't run well on Stadia, and you're playing Shenmue 3 and you get RE3 next year. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's great.
Year after year.
It's good. Yeah.
I would say the year after makes it the unbelievable part, but then a bunch of websites also say, yeah, we heard the same thing. This has happened.
RE2 is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
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 You know?
You gotta figure reusing the assets may have
Yes.
helped this along, because
Of course.
so many
Yes.
can be reused.
Yeah.
Like, so much of the groundwork is already in place.
If you're not familiar with RE3, it takes place in the same city at basically the same time as RE2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And also, if they knew they were going to be doing this, it's like, okay, let's
plan ahead. Yeah.
start that. If you're literally going to build the whole street and then there's that extra building, like, let's start on that building before this game comes out. So
If it's a year later, they had to have
done
known.
it in tandem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a year later.
Back to the Future style.
It'll probably be the end of the year, though, right? You think? Or mid-year?
I would think so.
October this time,
October, dude.
instead of
Just
January.
2 was
Nice.
January, yeah.
Yeah.
And that release date was like one of the biggest shockers from that announcement was that it was so soon.
Yeah, they might do that again on us,
Capcom
right?
style now.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And what I love about the concept,
Announced in 2020, launches in 2021.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it right
Might
now,
be
Jones.
cross-gen.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, right now.
but Jones, here's what I think though, is like it buys you time for RE8 and it buys you anticipation for RE8. I had assumed going forward that RE3 would take a long time to make. That they would do it, but it would take another 2 or 3 years, and that RE8 would come in between.
I thought Revelations 3 would squeak in there.
Yeah, something like
I
weird
think
like
just
that, right?
RE2 is too huge, and they're like, just go with 3.
I'm not
Yeah.
even
Just do
thinking of
3.
RE8, man.
I know.
Yes.
I'm nuts.
That's what's
I know.
fun.
It's so nuts.
I think it's best for this to come first.
Well,
Absolutely.
also too because I think this could be cross-gen and just wonderfully so.
Yeah,
Whereas
RE8 is probably all next gen.
bring RE2 to Switch. But RE8, like please.
Yeah, that's got to be
PS5
next.
Scarlet,
Yeah.
please.
You know what? I agree with that.
You know?
Move the needle.
Move the needle. So yeah, this is we got a little stopgap, hopefully. Yep.
So excited.
I'm
so excited.
already sweating thinking
I
about
know.
Nemesis chasing me, dude.
It's just so perfect because like Leon is a rookie and Jill is a freaking professional. Mr. X is not as advanced as Nemesis, so by Nemesis getting stronger, Jill is stronger than Leon, so just the stakes are higher right there. So pumped, dude.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, and
there's
they
no-
proved it could work with Mr. X. Mr. X is Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proto-Nemesis.
yeah.
There's no
Okay.
double narrative too. So there's no like
Yeah, just
four
single.
stories
Yeah.
to deal with, and
Yeah.
not like a ton of characters, you know, and
Umbrella.
yeah.
Ricard.
A lot of Umbrella. Carlos. and
Mikhail.
Yeah.
Carlos
Yeah.
Mikhail, dude.
Yep.
Clock Tower.
I'm introducing another new segment this week. This was kind of forced by our growing fan base of Joker fans.
Really quick. Game Awards
yeah.
for that?
Yeah.
Game Awards
Well,
announcement?
here's the
possibly?
thing.
No, E3 next year.
For Resident Evil 3?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, haven't quite started working on the Game Awards yet. I don't know
Kyle
a
doesn't
thing.
have skills.
Got it. Sorry, I should-
so
I
when I
should-
said
I should
yeah,
not look at
yeah,
you.
yeah, that's my best guess.
Yes.
You can't-
100% a guess
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
100% a
100%.
guess.
You can't ask him while you're on the podcast, while we've been talking about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You got to wait till he gets out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
You got to wait till he's just wandering
Till
down
I'm
the hallway.
disarmed.
And then but then you open with something else. You're
Yeah.
just like, hey, you know, have you seen Mandalorian? It's pretty cool. RE3 at Game Awards? And
Yeah.
it's just like, wait, what? No,
I
wait,
feel
what?
like the best way would be to wake him up in the middle of the night.
Call him.
Somehow,
Yeah,
no, like get in his house.
Yeah.
Like get in Bossman's room
Yeah.
and shake him up. Bossman,
what's your address?
is Nemesis going to be at the Game
Actually,
Awards?
Chuz, I think the best thing to
is it
do
gonna
is
be there?
while someone's in the bathroom, just slam the door open, point at them, and say, "Is
Yeah.
it's going to be at the
Just
Game
whisper
Awards?"
in.
I don't
Yeah.
think that works on you though.
While he's
I
sleeping.
remember Sunset Riders.
Yeah,
we
you
were
held that.
certain,
Just put like a cookie under his nose and he starts to smile a little bit.
but like
is it-
Resident
is it
Evil is
gonna
much
be
more
there,
likely
Kyle?
than Sunset Riders.
Right. Okay, so this week in Joker news, the Joker beat up Charlie Brown this week.
Wait,
Charlie's
what?
Angels.
No, Charlie Brown. The Joker beat up Charlie Brown.
What do you
this week.
mean?
I guess Charlie Brown was just hanging up for no reason. Joker came up and just like beat him up.
No.
Yeah,
No.
not a bit. This is this week in Joker news.
This is a bit.
Next up, Pokemon
Timestamp is what it is.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I don't like when you mess with the peanuts, dude. It ain't right.
That's the Joker's whole deal, man.
No.
It's not right that he would
No.
touch Charlie Brown.
No.
And of course,
sick.
Charlie Brown wouldn't be able to tell anybody about that. His friends would come over and it's like, come out and play, Charlie. And you're like,
Get me out of this
They
robot
come in
chicken
and
bit
he's like
right
on
now.
the couch, like all bruised. Like, what happened? He can't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't understand.
But from
can't tell
Jones,
ya.
from reports, Charlie Brown was just out in the middle of daylight, right?
Yeah.
Didn't happen in the darkness.
Woodstock's just cackling.
Yeah. It's a twisted world. Pokemon Sword and Shield, I wanted to touch on this. Sold 6 million worldwide. Fastest selling Switch game ever. Just kind of crazy in light of our discussion last week and all weeks leading up to this. It's the game nobody's happy with, but is the most successful.
Yeah.
So funny.
Everyone
Yeah.
hates.
Everybody
we're all
hates
playing-
it.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of
hilarious.
it.
I'm playing Pokemon Silver with you, and all I want to do is just
Yeah.
crack open my Switch.
It's just, I want Pokemon Sword and Shield to be so much better, but all I can do is throw up my hands and say, you made the right game. Yeah. You made the right
Financially.
game. Yeah.
These new Pokemon show up, and I'm just like, I'm never going to use you in my party. Get in there. You know? Get in there, weird Gen 5 Pokemon I've never seen before.
So weird, man. I have 1,000 tips of how to make this a better game, and they should listen to none of them because they just sold 6 million copies.
I think that's the wrong lesson. The lesson is it doesn't matter what the game is, as long as it says Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So don't make it too good. Don't spend too much
they
effort
don't.
on it.
There's no reason for them to change how these games are since the very beginning of these games.
Yeah.
They make money.
That is the
Same
lesson.
thing.
I want to come up with the name for that because that is a thing. Like, and I think we do get that near the end of the gen. Breakpoint's that, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's
Insanity.
like, you know, like that's what kind of upset me when Eve, right? There's no S. You don't do the S. Eve.
Right.
We established that.
Yeah. Eve Guillemot.
It's not Gilmo?
Guillemot.
You pronounce the T?
L's and the T. Guillemot.
Here comes the correction.
Okay.
What the
okay.
hell?
It's
okay.
Guillemot. It's Guillemot.
See, now I'm gonna say Guillemot, dude. That shit sticks,
Guillemot.
Bossman. It
Wait.
sticks right here.
Eevee's Guillemot
Guillemot is a new Pokemon.
came out, yes.
It's one of the new
Adele-
Pokemon.
No evolution, though.
I
which is strange.
caught a Guillemot the other day.
But when he came out and he was like, "Hey, we're surprised that Breakpoint's bad." Like I played after Wildlands, I played Breakpoint. And it's like, no, you knew it. Come on, like you knew you weren't doing as much
For
as you
7
did with
seconds,
Breakpoint.
you know.
You knew. Stop. And every now and then you play those games. You're like, oh, they knew at every Madden that kicks off a new console is like, it's not going to be full featured. It's going to have a ton of issues.
But it was
it's going
encouraging-
to sell like crazy anyway.
So Jones, it was
I
encouraging.
want a
though,
word for that, whatever that is.
But like,
Resting on your laurels. Skating?
One word though. One word.
Skating.
Because Call of Duty, very similar situation. A lot of controversy, like Pokemon.
Yeah.
A lot of controversy, sold 600 million in a day. So is there a connection there?
Yeah, I would say that's closer because the encouraging thing with the story about Breakpoint is that it did poorly. That Ubisoft said, "Hey, this sold so much under expectations that we have to change. We actually have to make better games now."
Okay.
Nintendo, Pokemon Company, Game Freak, nobody's saying we got to make a better Pokemon game. They're saying we made the perfect Pokemon game. This sold above expectations.
Well, you know why that is, right? It's because we're all people in the games industry who talk about games and read about games and look at games and think about games.
Games.
5.5 million people that bought Pokemon never even look at IGN. They just go, "Hey, I love Pokemon, and I'm gonna buy this."
Oh, new Pokemon's out today.
New Pokemon. Same with Call of Duty. It's like you don't have to go on IO9
So
and
true.
read about sci-fi or whatever. You're gonna go to Star Wars.
Ian, it is so shocking how I talk to my friend all the time, and he's like always so surprised when something comes out, and it's exactly like that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I heard there's a Pokemon game out. Just like
Yeah.
it's out one day because you're not looking for it or anything, so there's no hype, there's no noise. Oh, new Pokemon on Switch, I'm gonna get it.
This is what I'm actually truly interested in because Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu underperformed. And so it's not like automatic. There's something there. There's something that penetrates. There's something that this marketing team has down. They know how to penetrate. They know how to say, this is the one, everybody come in, and everybody's spending $60.
Maybe those, I don't know, because those, like I can look at Let's Go and know that it's a spinoff,
Yeah.
but I wonder if someone who doesn't pay attention would know as well. Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
There is kind of an icky sense of prestige where, like, I think about Animal Crossing coming to Switch so late in the Switch's life, and it's just like, God, finally, it just seems like a no-brainer that you were going to do this. Why was it taking so long? And when they announced that, like, yes, we are going to make a Pokemon for Switch, it's like, oh, they're gonna do. Thanks. You know, like it doesn't. It doesn't have that obligation. Why doesn't it? It's so bizarre. It should be another thing. It should be a no-brainer. It should be weird if they're not, but it does. It has that strange, pedigree. Especially because Pokemon is doing so many things. They have so many fires burning at once. It's insane.
It's holdover Jones from way back at the 3DS launch. Black and White came on regular DS. So we had this cool new Nintendo 3DS, and we had to play a Pokemon game that's for the last gen hardware. So that holdover, those feelings are still carried over from way back when. That's why we feel lucky when they say it's for Switch, which is so dumb. So dumb. It is time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
I was thinking about Woodstock cackling as Joker
On his
beats-
back, the tears flying out of his face.
I hate this bit. This sucks. I'm
Brad,
uncomfortable.
This is the world we live in, dude. It's twisted, man.
No, man.
We live in a real
No.
dark world. Okay, let's do.
Not Seth Green. This isn't Robot Chicken, dude.
You know what? This one's like a little hairy and sticky. I'm ready for it.
Ew.
Sticky Wicked.
And, no, one
Yeah.
or the other. Dude.
I'm the
Don't
Dark
put those
Prince,
two things
dude.
together.
Yeah.
No.
I'm the Dark Prince.
My tongue is hairy and sticky. Now that the nominations for the Game Awards have been revealed,
Yeah, here we go.
I want to talk about the giant elephant in the room.
Okay.
Jeff Keighley and his relationship with Hideo Kojima.
I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about that.
Now, I'm not saying that there may have been some influence from Keighley to have Death Stranding receive 10 nominations, including GOTY.
No.
Based on what I've seen prior to release, I can honestly say I was on board with what Kojima was delivering gameplay-wise. I'm sure whatever awards this game does end up winning will be well-deserved, even if I never get around to playing the game. However, with the way Keighley constantly talks about Kojima, either on past TGAs or in other venues, I can't help but wonder, if there is even a small chance that any win for Death Stranding can be considered a legit win. I mean, this is Jeff's own award show, after all, and he'll find any way to slurp and praise Kojima as many times as humanly possible.
Slurp? No.
Is that in the email?
No.
Am I reading too much into this? Or does anyone on the panel have a slight concern? Love and respect, Carl.
Not at all.
Zero.
He doesn't vote.
Yeah, Keely doesn't vote on
He
these
doesn't
things.
vote or nominate. He's just a host, and he throws the whole thing together.
How many outlets got to cast their votes this time around?
20-something.
Yeah. So that's just how it's done. The Keely sends out invitations to vote to outlets. So like IGN gets a vote, GameSpot gets a vote. So like Easy Allies got to vote. So we all 9 of us voted, and then all 9 of us vote on the thing, and then whichever has the most is our Easy Allies
official
vote.
Easy Allies vote.
Yes.
Yeah, then
And then
how
we just throw that into the wind and
then how
cross
did
our fingers.
how did Death Stranding get in the top 5 then? If it's
I'm
not even
not surprised.
A lot of
at all that
people
it's such a
voted for it, probably.
polarizing, interesting game. It's a fascinating game. If this was the Academy Awards, a movie like Death Stranding
Yeah.
would totally get nominated.
There's nothing like it.
Okay, no for 2 gigantic reasons. One, this is not. Keely has access to Kojima, not because of Keely, because of Kojima, because Kojima loves the attention. He wants his story to be told. You know what I mean? It's not like all these people, I mean, right? Keely does his like little panels where he'll be on stage, or Kojima's gonna announce something, and so Keely's gonna be on stage with Kojima for an hour. It's not like every developer in the world. It's not like Dan Houser is on the phone with Keely being like, please, Keely, I want to talk about Red Dead 2 for an hour on stage. It's just what Kojima does. So Kojima wants to, you see this press tour that he's doing, he comes, ladies and gentlemen, Hideo Kojima, and he comes out, the crowd's like cheering. That's his element. And like, I can't fault the guy for his ego, because that's such a part of him, And like, you play Metal Gear Solid, just one. Forget all the other Metal Gears he made. You play that one game and how transformative and incredible it was just on that, aging console now. And like, yeah, sure, he deserves to just do whatever. He's such a weirdo. Yeah, go. Be weird. Surprise us. Put motorcycle commercials in your game. Just do whatever you want to do. He's a fun guy to see the freedom that he has, and he's using it to make sure a lot of attention gets showered on him. And so he's like, this game's a new genre. There's so many things that Kojima does that are very declarative about how you should feel about his games, and he wants anyone to listen, and that's what Keely does. Keely wants that. Keely wants to be there for that platform to introduce people. And so there's that. The other thing too, because I saw some people, he tweeted, Keely did, about like, hey, so nominations are out. What do you think? Respond to this tweet, which is ballsy. To respond to this tweet, let me know what, a lot of people were like, DMC5 got snubbed for GOTY. Weird to see Fallen Order not on there for action adventure game. Like, there's just a lot of weird questions that popped up. And one of them, somebody just literally took a picture of the advisory board and circled Kojima and just sent that to him as a JPEG. And everyone was like, you're completely ignoring the fact that Phil Spencer's on there and there's Xbox game. There's a lot of people that are associated with this. Having all the work that we've done with Keely, having worked with Keely in so many different capacities across the year, Keely knows everyone. Everyone. I have never met anyone in this industry that is more prolific than that man in terms of his relationships and business contacts, how much he cherishes those. So what you're seeing is a transparency with Kojima, because Kojima wants to be transparent. But the idea that they have a special relationship and he doesn't have that relationship with everybody else, you have not seen Keely in his element. You've not seen him do E3 coverage and person after person after person after person roll in, and they all are like, hey, what's up, Keely? Like, they all
Not
know
even,
him.
hey, Jeff, what's up?
Yeah, just like,
First
hey, what's
name
up?
with everyone, friends with everyone.
Like, look at his relationship with Reggie, man. Look at over the years. Look at him with Nintendo.
Valve.
It's Keely, man. It's just it feels different with Kojima because of how Kojima is. It's nothing to do with Keely.
Love Keely. He gives me warm, good vibes every time I am in the same room with the man.
They broke the mold.
Seriously.
He's a crazy, yeah.
Yeah, but he's in the game though.
So is Conan, man. Like, it's a weird game. It doesn't, yeah.
No, but
There's also a part of me too that feels like maybe it seems like a little extra now too, because like I feel like Keely really is feeling for Kojima as a friend after the whole Konami situation. I feel like that is still a fresh wound. So maybe their friendship is a little more overt right now because of it. I don't know. I just feel like Keighley cares. And
I hope it's real.
Yeah.
Like, I have this weird nascent fear that Kojima is just kind of, as Jones implied, that he's just like using Keighley and they're not actually friends, and that would make me so sad.
Yeah, I hope they're
Did
best
hurt.
buds.
Jones, that was cutting.
So sad.
You cut
Well,
me.
it's using is strong. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's
But it's like seems real.
it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, Keighley would love the exposure so that he can be the one communicating this. He wanted to be there, you know, day one to talk about you know, Half-Life, you know, this new game, you know, to be like, okay, you all have questions, I have answers. And it's exciting because it's not just like, oh, okay, here's the interview. Like, I want to know these things. You know, like we learned some fascinating things from that video. So like he does approach that from someone who, you know, doesn't have this kind of obsessive, you know, going out and platinuming every game, you know, perspective that, you know, we have and people like us have. He has,
because we platinum every game.
he knows.
Everyone, yeah.
Some people do. He knows what people are going to be curious about. He knows what this means from a business sales perspective in terms of how important it is to these companies. And he knows how to ask. He knows how to ask the right questions, man, repeatedly.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. You know, full disclosure, I'm credited as a consultant on the Game Awards, right? So I'll be working on it in December. To this person's argument, here's where it comes from, right? There's why this message was written, because obviously these things, like, it isn't as sketchy as it appears, but if anybody's smelling anything, it's because Jeff Keighley is executive producer and host of the Game Awards. He's the only person seen for these things. Yeah. So there's no like rotating host. It is always just Jeff Keighley. The show seems like the Keighley's. It seems like he does 100% of it. And so I can see where that perception would come from. And I think like the reality is, this sounds mega cheese, but like there's some things that only Keighley can do. Like I truly believe it'd be very hard for this show to exist if he decided to retire tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I think it wouldn't exist the year after. Like he just makes these things run in ways that there aren't people to fill in those positions.
Because of those bonds. Because when some huge studio shows up with a game, it feels intimate and personal because they're friends with each other.
Right.
When a game is brought to Keighley,
I think trust is more important there.
It feels nicer than like, hey, I'm going to show you my corporate game. It's like, oh, hey, Jeff, like, we've got a game to show you. Here we are. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels just cozier.
Yeah. That Sean Reggie film moment was Keighley. That was classic Keighley.
And it was.
That was a favor, you know, that he was like, we got to do this. It's too big.
Well, and that's the real tea is, like, he's just a shrewd businessman, and, like, he knows how to use, not in a bad way, but, like, utilize his friendships that are genuine, but are also utilitarian and business based. And it's like he and Kojima, like Jones said, like it's a mutually beneficial friendship. You know, it's symbiosis. But like the dude's got a mind like a steel trap. Like encyclopedic knowledge of who everyone is. Like he knows who he says hi to me, and I'm always just like, oh, you remember me? Like,
same,
you know?
same. And every time he like remembers me, I'm like, how?
Yeah, and it's like wild to me.
I think I've said this before, but and it's not necessarily pertinent to what we're talking about now. But like, I know it seems like whoa, Jones likes Keighley. I've just seen him.
Are you slurping Keighley right now?
I love Jeff Keighley.
Okay,
love the
I need
man.
to.
Huber is slurping.
I love him.
Huber's slurping.
Straight up.
Pardon me.
I'll say it 100 times, dude. I love Jeff Keighley. Dude is a
wipe my
pleasure to be around.
I can't remember. It was the. I'm sorry if I'm repeating this story. It was the Kobe year when Kobe was late and the PlayStation conference started like 15 minutes late.
Oh wow, we're introducing PlayStation Move.
And
this is a while ago, yeah.
So you have panelists that are on, E3 All Access that are stalling for 15 full minutes on top of 30 minutes of talking about PlayStation, and I'm in Keighley's ear with everyone else, and I'm hearing, not only in my ear, but we're all in the same room, all trying to put the show together. I can hear people freaking out, like, when do we know? They told us it was going to start this time. We're trying to wait to hear from them so that then we can tell Keighley. And so they're constantly telling Keeley, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. And so I know Keeley's got the voice. Imagine right now us trying to do this show and someone screaming in your ear that you can't tell the viewer what you're hearing. And you have to maintain eye contact and come up with the next thing. And we have notes before we do the Sony stuff. Whenever any of us have hosted a press conference, like when I did the Kind of Funny Game Showcase, I was like, all right, I got to watch the old one and come up with a big list and try to figure out what we're going to talk about. Just off the cuff, it's like, yeah, they're still delayed. And he's like, okay, cool. This game we haven't talked about yet. And that was just whoop. He just pulled that out of his brain. And I remember in that moment being like, okay, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I respect this guy, nor do I want to. That's a terrifying prospect to have, just thousands of people watching you and
like
you just roll in like, yeah, they can take 30 minutes. I don't care.
The flip side too that people don't appreciate is, and like I think sometimes Jeff can come off as like distant or distracted, but it's like he's got his nose to the grindstone. It seems like all the time. He's always reading his phone and reading the news and stuff. He lives and breathes this stuff. Like I actually wonder. I've wondered on many occasions if Jeff Keighley ever stops. Like if he ever just like takes a break. Because I don't know if he does.
Regis vibes.
Yeah, it's weird. It's crazy.
The Regis of gaming.
And he does, he brings us into the process. He shows you the notes. He says we're in the office right now. We're working on this. And so I definitely do think he tries to be as transparent as possible. And like I mentioned, this tweet, like he's open to those criticisms. He always tweets the day after the Game Awards. He's like, woof, that was exhausting. What'd you think?
Yeah.
Let me know what you want to have changed. And
Go
I
ahead and
scream,
troll.
give an award to trailers, damn it, every single year.
Do it again.
Yeah, he just, I don't know. He seems like he is to journalism what Kojima is to games to me. Like they're both they broke the mold, man. It's hard. They're hard to replace. Like you said, if he left, we'd go watch the DICE Awards.
Yeah. Heaven forbid.
Which you should still watch. They're
No,
fun.
please. Gross. How many world premiere trailers do they have at the DICE Awards?
Not many.
Premiere.
I thought about that. Ooh, I started to get excited. I thought about that today. I was like, oh, here we go.
Golden joystick. How many commercials do you even have, dudes?
Yeah. When Joker took over, it was fun to be in that room. That was a fun room.
Are you talking about the
Last year. Yeah. When Charlie Brown came out to present the award.
What the hell?
All right, this is a cute one. Honestly, this is a cute one. Hey, allies. I first played through Metal Gear Solid in 2014. The game was more than 15 years old at that point, and yet I felt like I was playing a game from the future. Everyone always talks about having their mind blown by the Psycho Mantis fight, but I remember being impressed by little things like the mice that scurry around in the vents, or using the smoke of your cigarette to spot security lasers. But by far, the most impressive aspect of Metal Gear Solid was the codec system. It wasn't just for the sheer amount of recorded dialogue, but the fact that I could make an outgoing call to whomever I wanted and our conversation would be relevant to the story or what was going on in that time at that game. The result was that these characters came to feel more like real people who I could rely upon in times of need. Allies. I fear that. Like the stunning pre-rendered backgrounds of Final Fantasy 7 through 9, the codec system was exclusive to a period of time where big-budget developers were constrained by significant technological limitations. I fear that Metal Gear Solid codec system is a unique relic, never again to be replicated, much less improved. Is there no hope? Colton from Cape Cod.
Not to be a broken record, but I feel the camp in Red Dead is an evolution of that. Like you go back and meet again with these characters, and they'll have stuff to say.
Yeah.
Depending on what you've done, depending on how they feel, and just like the codec system, there are multiple people, and you'll catch them in multiple different states.
You know what, Johns? This is fair. That's actually fair. I think that's actually pretty close to what this person's describing.
Man, like little Jack walks by me. He's like, "I wish everyone would stop fighting." I'm like, "Oh."
See, when they're playing when they're like just around the campfire singing music, so good. Hey, Jack.
But this is how I think. If the next Ghost Recon, it's like stop it with the cutscenes. Stop making me have to go back to everybody every 5 seconds. Let me call everybody. Let me turn in a quest on the phone. Stop.
Sure.
It's like stop forcing me to go have these wooden dumb conversations. If you're not going to bother animating these characters in interesting ways, then just don't do it. Like let's have fun conversations. Let me be able to check in with them. let me get calls from people out of nowhere. Like Pokemon Silver, getting a call from Joey every time. It's so special.
Dynamic.
Yeah, it is. It's dynamic.
You know what? It's not, but it almost does something to make that world a more real world.
When I was playing Shield today, I was like, oh, it's weird that Silver on the Game Boy Color has this system that I think Shield would benefit from.
You have a cell phone and nobody's calling you.
In Shield?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, your map is on a cell phone, man.
That's right.
Nobody's calling.
Small town.
Do you have friends?
Small town. He's one friend.
Yeah, doesn't call us.
And your friend is terrible.
He's not good. But that's another love and respect question. We'll get that next week.
I feel bad calling a little boy terrible.
Hop sucks.
I feel like I'm working with a bunch of jokers here. What are you going to do? Getting a beat up Hop?
I love beating the little kids that challenge you.
Beat up his Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm minding my own
Pokemon.
business, dude.
Yeah,
They're
One shot
challenging
every
me.
single one of them.
Yeah,
So I crush their dreams, so they'll never challenge me again.
I get it. Yeah. Everybody's got to lose. I wish that, this is totally irrelevant. I wish that Pokemon, much like a Mighty Ducks movie, you got to lose in the beginning. I wish that like you got a scrappy little Pokemon that's got no shot, and you got to lose. You got to like take a big loss. You got to eat it. Otherwise you just win the whole time.
I agree, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't played through, I played through Let's Go, and I thought, okay, this is old, so it's probably, whatever. I give it a pass.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing this brand new Bleeding Edge one, and I kill almost every Pokemon I'm against in one hit.
Here we go.
No, but it's like,
yeah.
Yep.
but the thing that's annoying is everyone comes up and talks such a big game. I mop the floor with them, and then they still act all hoity-toity, like they're better than me, And it's like, did you not just see what happened? Like, did you not just see how destroyed your Pokemon are right now? Like, why are you coming up and talking a big game at me? It's absurd. It's absurd.
Just take some inspiration from the classic children's sports movies. Really.
Yeah.
Just watch 3. Go download Disney Plus.
Sandlot,
Yep.
Mighty Ducks,
Yep.
Little Rascals,
Little Giants.
Little Giants.
Little Rascals though, it can't hurt.
Can't hurt.
Bonus
Bonus,
watch.
yes.
Bonus watch.
It can't hurt to watch Little Rascals.
Cool off.
But
Bad News Bears is a
like,
good example.
Yes.
Which you just talked about, but
but it goes back into it as like this thing. People don't want to have a hard game. They want to
Give me those
win.
difficulty
They
options.
want the dopamine,
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
why
yeah.
you sell 6 million copies.
Just have
6 million.
hardcore mode.
Nah, not for them.
so anyway, those phone calls we were talking about.
Yeah. It's hard to do. Especially as games get bigger and bigger and bigger, it would be harder and harder to have a contextual conversation for every given moment that most people will never see.
And expensive.
Yes.
Because that's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
When you have like 2 different, like, oh, you can pick 2 different protagonists. It's like, holy cow, that's
Yeah.
a lot. That's a lot of talking.
And so that's why I love playing some old games so much, is that they do have attributes to them that can't be repeated today. Like when we played through Final Fantasy VII, and it's like, oh, this game is actually too big to be made today. And that was the simple truth.
Yeah.
You just can't make a game that big right now. You can't do
To the
this type
scope
of,
they wanted.
Yes, this level of detail can't exist.
It was too big for the N64, baby. That's why they had to move it.
I bet at this point you could talk to either protagonist of Assassin's Creed Odyssey and be like, hey, what'd you think about this scene? They'd be like, what scene?
Yeah.
Like that scene where you talk to that person and
Yeah.
said this thing? They're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
so many,
too much. It's too much.
It's way too much. So many times in that game, like Cassandra would have a conversation with someone and they'd be referencing something. And this happened 50 times. They'd reference something and I'd be like, what? Did I do that? I don't know. This game's 100 hours. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's impossible. We're growing big in a weird direction right
yeah.
now. Thank goodness we have Half-Life Alyx to contract it, dude.
Well, but you
Yeah.
also have
Focus.
telling
Yeah.
lies. I mean, that's a game about people talking. The sequel to Her Story.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So you do see evolutions of this where it's like you're just gonna talk to people,
Yeah.
and it's going to be the power of their speaking, and it doesn't have the codec system, but it's like the performances are so powerful in Death Stranding, like it's just so incredible when you see. I know the performances are really great in Outer Worlds, but again, just this kind of like, I'm the character and I'm hanging out right here and I'm talking to you about stuff. It's like I just don't feel like we're doing this,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Some of those are just completely very cinematic on another level.
Blocking. The characters walk around the room.
Yeah.
Games don't do that much.
Sure.
But,
that's an interesting observation.
And I remember too the one other thing that blew me away, and I can't believe at the time I had the patience for it because I think I like had to know this stuff. It was like part of the game. But there's like an hour, almost 2 hours of Snake just standing there naked or sitting there naked in a cell, and like people talking to him before you even start, before they even send you.
the mission
to
briefing.
Shadow Moses.
The mission briefing. It's optional. Yeah.
It's weird.
Holy cow!
He's blonde.
It just keeps going and
Same
going
with MGS4
and going
has
and
those.
going. And I was like listening to all of it, being like, "This is going to be on the test." Like I'm going to need to know this stuff, and it does help. It's really neat to it adds so much context to this world when you get into it. You're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know what DARPA is." Like I know about all this stuff.
Dude, BioShock start the audio log thing?
I feel like
Doom 3
Oh,
was
Doom 3
a big one.
Oh, okay.
I feel like BioShock like ran with it. It was the thing, Brad, is it kind of makes sense for BioShock, like for you not to be calling people, for
Of
you to have
course,
these
yeah.
recordings.
Yeah.
But then every game did it. Recordings
It was a
show
nice-
up
it
in
was a
every
trend.
single game.
But didn't you like have to stand still in BioShock? No,
I
could you
think
walk
can- I
around and
think
listen
you
to
can
those?
Move, right?
That was Doom 3, baby.
You
That was
could
a
walk, you could
huge.
walk,
That
you
was
could
probably
walk.
my favorite part of Doom 3. Is
think you could walk around.
you would get, but it was different in BioShock because I don't feel that it colored specifically. It colored the area that I was in, but it didn't color the thing I was about to do. And there were moments in Doom 3 where I'd like pick up a recording and listen to it, and then be like, all right, time to go down this hallway. And it's like this recording is for this hallway. Like this recording is for you. This hallway would suck if you're not listening to what's going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was so powerful. And there was just, I know there's some games that have done it since where I'd be like, oh, cool recording. And then I'd walk away and it would stop. And it's like, what are you doing? Let me walk around.
Yeah.
Let me live with that.
Or if it's
Let me
the
go back
audio
up and
source.
replay them later if I want to. Or have there be crazy secrets in there. Or have like a 20-minute one. I'm like, I'm not going to listen to that. It's like, yeah, but at minute 18, that thing happens. It's wild if you actually like have the patience to go through it. But man,
You know which ones I love, Jones, are
voice actors aren't cheap.
Arkham Asylum. Those are fun.
Oh, sure.
Inmate Harley Quinn. Like, here's the
Yeah, I guess-
interrogation.
I guess those kind of things make sense recorded, but like I really do. This comment made me realize like how strong those conversations are. That you can actively call somebody. That person is alive talking to you now.
Optional,
It's
too,
it's
is
definitely way
essential.
better. Yeah, and
Jedi
it
Fallen
is.
Order is a little bit of that.
Well, you can do some.
They're not that dense.
Sure.
And it's not something you can call upon. Like you have to go to certain areas to queue them up. But some of those are kind of chilling. Like you hear, there's a couple that have references to the movies. So I was like, ooh, ugh. You have to know what's going on there to know how that hits.
Jonesy, that's a good tease. That's a good example of not spoiling, but really making me interested. I did it. That was a really good tease.
Good balance.
Good balance, dude.
We'll get into it in a bit.
It's time for bets. Oh yeah, we're recording spoiler mode tonight. Yeah. Cool. Next week's bet is about Half-Life Alyx. I was looking at the trailer. This trailer just launched this very morning. When I was originally like putting the podcast together, it was at 800,000 views. But then before we recorded, I just decided to look in on it again. 2.5 million views. Our bet is where that number will be at this point next week. Yeah. Will the trend continue, or are they going to top off, Jones?
Now it feels low, 10.2.
Okay. Michael Huber.
54 million.
Okay.
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 Go big or go home.
54.
That's like some K-pop stuff, dude.
I was thinking, yeah. I was thinking of like
It's
music
gonna win.
videos.
Don't justify it. It's going to win.
Like a Taylor Swift video is
Yeah.
what, like 100 mil or something.
Yeah.
It's like Half-Life isn't Taylor Swift, but
At least half of it, Taylor Swift.
it's Half-Life.
Okay.
It's a Taylor Swift video game. It's legendary. I don't know.
Yeah. Bradley Ellis.
I'm going 3 mil.
Whoa.
I think a lot of people who were interested in it saw it today.
That's what I
This is meaner than 54. That's a
No, it's
mean
not
bet.
mean.
Yeah.
No, it's not mean.
Okay.
It's a slap.
How many VR
It's
games
slap.
get that many views, dude?
Yeah. 14.2 mil
No,
is what I
Kyle.
bet.
Damn.
I'm sorry, Jonesy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Ian.
I was thinking along the lines of Brad, so I
Thank
think
you,
6.
Ian.
I was
Okay.
like, yeah, the people who are super into it saw it. It's gonna taper off, I think. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm
If
actually.
it's in the 20s, though, we got it.
Yeah. I wanted to make the bet because I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah.
I don't know what the audience for this game is, and I
We're
want
in
to
the
see where-
playoffs right now, Huber. We are in the playoffs of the bets.
Yeah.
This is
What
I
are
got
we?
the
Are we
high.
at like 5
tap.
T-minus 5 weeks? Oh, are you doing a little Astros joke? That was a stealth Astros
wish.
joke.
Tap, tap,
I wish.
bang, bang,
That was
bang.
cool.
I wish, man.
That was
I wish
nice,
there was
Jones.
something I can do. If I could cheat at this, I would. I would.
Shenmue 3 released
I was
Tuesday
so
of this
pumped
week.
about this bet, dude.
How many viewers will it have on Twitch?
Okay.
Jones, you bet 10K. Damiani bet 1.5K. That was the mean one of
That's
the
the
week.
mean one.
Ian's pulling it up right now.
Oh God, it's not even. It's
Huber,
not
you
there.
bet
It's not
64.
there. Shit.
64,521.
Sea of Thieves
I bet 6.2K. Ian bet 33K. The actual number for Shenmue 3
is devastating.
live viewers
Dude,
on
Smite's
Twitch.
got it beat.
This is devastating.
Dude, Pokemon Red and Blue has it beat.
He had a lot of views for a while.
Max,
He's just not
where
on,
are
I
you?
guess.
Oh no.
Not there. I just did a
Search
find
it.
on page. I did.
Oh, Shenmue,
This
show
is
up.
not.
If Damiani wins
but it
this
has
bet,
to load more. Yeah.
Dude, Chess has it beat.
Super Mario Bros. 3 right now, dude.
1K, baby.
DayZ.
There it is.
754 viewers.
So the mean one was right?
What did he
That
say?
is
1K.
It's not a game you want to watch.
Yeah.
You wanna
Maybe
experience it.
spoilers.
sure,
You
know what
want
I
to
mean?
live in it.
Maybe
Sure.
people were waiting for the holidays, to jump in.
Yeah, Max wasn't on. Sorry, Huber.
Charlie Winsmore has
Charlie.
415 viewers. He's the most.
thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Um,
Huber's depressed.
is this bad news? Yeah, watch out for those spoilers on those Twitch
Thumbnails. Yeah,
clips.
watch the thumbnails.
I clicked away.
Huber got to say that's not good news. But if Max started at this point, it would have had an 8,000 boost
Yeah,
right there.
You need the whale.
Yeah. Okay, Michael Damiani, the pessimist, wins with his bet of 1.5K.
Hey, that's us though.
It's us.
That is
Okay.
you. That brings our totals to Scrappy Little Pigs 24, beating you. Gorgeous Gorillas 26.
Ooh, big one there, 2-point swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, Jones, I think if we need to win like next week or the week after, or else it's Or Wars time.
For it.
Match point.
Match point.
I don't think we're match point yet.
We're on advantage.
Yes, you are an
What
advantage.
did you say you love? Deuce?
Deuce. Love Deuce.
Deuce.
Love it, dude.
Dude, Super Tennis, man. Virtua Tennis Deuce.
Yep.
Was a big deal.
So
10
I,
out of 10.
I think we could still lose next week, but I think we only get one more loss.
You need a deuce.
We can,
You
don't,
need
I want
deuce.
you to say the word lose. I want you to remove the word lose
Okay.
from your vocabulary.
Yes. We need wins, is what I'm saying.
Kyle, look at me. Look at me, Kyle. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I get
Okay.
it. I get it. Don't know what happened in Shenmue 3 there, dude.
What the hell?
I don't know what happened there, dude.
I thought it's the big
700
question. I thought people are like,
Yeah.
I thought people could get to this point without even having to think about Shenmue, and
Yeah.
just now that's the week. It's like, all right, what is this? What are we talking about right now? Because I saw the trailers and I don't get it. I need somebody to talk
hop
about
into
this.
a stream. That's what I thought.
It's not the viewers though; it's the streamers. That's the problem. No one's playing it. It's not that no one's watching it. No
Yeah,
one's
you don't
playing
want to
it.
stream it, Huber.
Yeah.
Your
No one
first
bought it.
time.
You know what?
No, it's
It's too
$60.
personal.
It's too much.
So we didn't have time for that. I want to call out somebody who submitted a cool game. Wu-Tang Clan had like some cool Twitch statistics, and so over the past 14 days, Death Stranding actually had more views than FIFA 20. However, so Death Stranding had about 19 million viewers over the last 14 days. However, in the last 7 days, only of like 3 mil, 2.6 mil. So there's this spike when the game comes out, and then it drops off hard.
Streamers beat
Because
it.
it's
Yeah.
not a live service.
It's not a live service.
Game, Kyle.
So basically, that data would suggest that Shenmue's
Streamers beat it, dude.
already hit the dip, dude.
Yeah. You know, it was also a bad.
Sorry, we're gonna stream it.
A
together.
bad
Yeah.
sign.
So
The top stream was labeled more Shenmue. This was the title.
More Shenmue.
You know,
Just more Shenmue.
more of that.
No big deal.
Not like our adventure continues. More Shenmue.
Yeah, it's more Shenmue. Let me tell everyone about patreon.com/easyallies. That would be the website you would go to if you want to learn more about the Easy Allies, the kind of videos we make, but also if you would like to support us because, for instance, people who give us $5 or more per month get this podcast on Fridays as opposed to Sundays, and they also get to submit to these segments of Love and Respect, which is, letters from our community, and secretly, Santa's Video Game Advisory Board. It's really just patrons sending stuff in. But it was the weirdest thing. I didn't want it to be glinny. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be like not glinny, like, oh, don't just send like bad ideas. But then people started sending good ideas. I'm like, these are fun ideas.
What are Glinny's current whereabouts? Is that canon? Do we know where Glinny is?
Just in one of her bogs, dude.
How did that storyline wrap up? I'm forgetting.
Oh, we made a good game for her.
We made the game.
We had the
Yeah.
game jam.
Yeah.
And the game jam happened. Lots of really good games. Glinny got off.
Yeah.
And then she's just happy right
So
now.
she just bounced.
Just
Yeah.
chilling in a bog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
She
it.
has other witch business. She doesn't just make video games.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good to know. I like to have my my lore on
Yeah.
checked.
Yeah. We don't contact Glinny. Glinny contacts us.
Got it.
I know how to contact Glinny, but it would take a couple of weeks if necessary.
Good to know.
Cool.
And it's like messy.
And sticky and hairy.
Sticky and hairy.
Sticky and hairy.
Okay, everybody. So, Huber, I'm not going to give Damiani's winning bet to you. I'm going to give it to Brad.
Do it.
Brad,
Yes.
you get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get to promote any Easy Eyes video you would like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Cool. Okay. You can follow me at BradleyEllis87. Video I want to promote is the last episode of season 2 of Achieve It Yourself. It's the last one that just is going up on Patreon right now.
Yes.
And
So
the
it'll be
second
public
last
next week.
on YouTube, yes.
Yep.
But you can check it on patreon.com if you're just $1. Mm-hmm. Just $1, baby. Something I just wanted to bring up, I just popped in my head is, please don't make General Hux a comedic character again. Just don't do that. It happened in 8. It was kind of weird. He wasn't like that at all in episode 7. It's super weird. Don't do that. Bring him back to the man he once was. And you know what? Just be excellent to each other.
What I'm not a humongous fan of is Final Fantasy VII. What I am a huge fan of is marketing campaigns.
Sexy.